That's Jamie Leopold and the Short Stories, and they will be at the Fort George on Sunday. And right now, I have a couple of folks who are making yet another fabulous event happen. And this is actually the 5th annual. Is that right? 5th annual. Woohoo! Wonderful. This is Get Lit at the Beach, and that means the lit stands for literature.
That's right.
I know. I was a little fooled the first time I saw that. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I went and I loved it. It was wonderful. As a matter of fact, I copied down a quote from Ursula Le Guin. Get Lit at the Beach is the best party I ever went to. Not too shabby.
No.
And I was there the year that she was the speaker as well, which was wonderful. Okay, so this is a gathering for readers. And I'm going to let my guests, Tracy Abel and Watt Childress. Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
And Watt.
Hello,
Good to
Carol.
have you here. From the Tolovana Arts Colony, which is the sponsoring group. And then they have lots and lots of people in the community who help out with that. But there are 4 authors, well, 3 authors, and then your Saturday night speaker. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So why don't you tell us about that? This is coming up on April 8th. It's the 8th through the 10th. And there's a Friday night event, and then Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday evening, and then Sunday. And you can take part in all or parts of it. If you can, I highly recommend just jumping in there and just enjoying the whole weekend. It becomes a real community is the way I felt about it. So tell us now the details. How did it start, and who's coming this year, and who are they?
Well, I think you used the key word there, Carol, community. You really do feel like when you attend this event that you've been immersed in a community of people who love to read, love to find out how stories are shaped, how they're shared, and every year we've been just amazed by the participation. And we have 4 authors this year: Terry Brooks, Elizabeth Engstrom, Jonathan Evison, and Jess Walter. And all of these authors are renowned, best-selling, have had film or television treatments of their work, or in process for doing that. Not that necessarily determines great writing, but I mean in this case it's justified. And Tracy, you want to say a little bit about the way the event flows for folks that may not be familiar with it? Also,
I know Terry Brooks lives on the coast. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Where do the other 3 hail from? Are they?
So Elizabeth lives in Eugene,
Okay.
and Jonathan lives in Sequim, I believe, and Jess lives in Spokane.
Okay.
So all
okay.
Northwest
authors. Okay. So, let us know how this works, and maybe you can give us a little bit of. I remember one year that there was somebody who I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to read her books because they were too scary. But she was she was a delightful speaker. And there were people there just couldn't get enough of it. And I'm going like, no, I don't think so. I can tell you're a good writer, but I think that's the problem. If you're a good writer, it's going to give me nightmares. So I don't.
But you enjoyed her talk.
Oh, I loved her talk, and that's why I said community, because we. In between, everybody was talking to each other, and people were buying books and then sharing. And you like that one? You should get this one. You know, this kind of thing. People were all coming together. So
yeah, and that's one thing I think that's unique about this event. Often you go to maybe a reading or a signing. You're kind of hustled in, you're forced to buy a book, you're sort of get it signed, and then you have 30 seconds and then you're shuffled out. And with our event, you have 3 actually 4 different opportunities, really to get to know the authors. The reception on Friday night, and then we have the author readings on Saturday morning and afternoon. And after the authors do their talk, then we do have about a 30-minute book signing. So everybody has a chance to ask questions
and the authors, and I'm sure these are the same, are very forthcoming. They take the time. You can share your own stories with. I mean, it's really that's a good comparison. Going to we're very happy that our bookstores. We have a proprietor here right now, actually, are here and offer these. But this is like delicious because you really get in-depth time. So with the book reading, what do you have? 2 authors reading in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon? Is that how it's going to work?
Correct. Okay. And then the keynote on Saturday evening, which will be Jess Walter this year.
Who is he? I don't know.
Jess wrote Beautiful Ruins, and also the poet, the
Financial Lives of Poets, and also The Zero, which I'm reading right now, which is in Ground Zero. So it's
contemporary book.
Yes.
And that is, am I right? That's after the dinner or before? When do the
keynote speakers after the dinner on Saturday night?
The fabulous dinner that is served as part of this. And by the way, we don't give prices here, but let me tell you, unless the price is tripled, it's extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable for this event. It sounds like it should be a lot more. So check it. Should people go to the website to learn more about it, or what?
That would be a good way of doing it. They could go to televanaartscolony.org or the Facebook page, which is...
It's basically, we also, our Facebook page is Get Lit at the Beach. So you just type that in and our Facebook page will come up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then also registration is getlitатthebeach.eventbrite.com. That gives some more details also.
Okay.
If you register, you get You begin on Friday evening. You can you come to an open reception, and that's your chance to first meet and greet the authors. So you're getting introduced to them on Friday evening, and then throughout the day on Saturday, you have the chance to come back and continue the conversation, hear more from them.
Is it true, though, people can come to just 1 or 2 of the events, or they can come? As I say, I recommend the whole thing, but if you can't do that, at least drop in because... I'm just remembering little tidbits of several of my, because I went for several years, and, including when at Ursula Le Guin, when she was there, I was sitting at a table at the dinner, and 2 of the people at the table had flown in from cross country specifically for this event, and in their cases to see Ursula Le Guin. And so what a wonderful opportunity, because they knew this wasn't just a walk in and walk out. They got to hang out, and she's a kick in the pants. We all know that. So so tell us a little bit about the other authors then.
Well, Jonathan Evison just finished This Is Your Life, Harriet Chance, and he also wrote The Fundamentals of Caregiving, which is now being made into a movie. It was at Sundance, actually, this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So what kinds of, for those people who aren't familiar with the titles, is it like... sometimes it might, like I was saying about Chelsea King, too scary for me. And then, of course, Garth's. My heart throb,
Heart racing in the rain.
Anyways.
How would you explain?
Well, the keynote speaker, I mean, I've read 2 of Jess's books now. Well, I'm actually halfway into the second one, and I would describe them as they're literary, and I don't say that to scare anybody off, because some folks, when they hear literary, they think, well, it's going to be kind of boring. It's not at all. It just means that he weaves the words together in a very seasoned and deliberate way, that as the story unfolds, you see layers beneath the surface, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, he's telling multiple stories at one time, and I'm really excited to hear him speak.
How did you choose these folks?
Well, we have a committee, a group of us that meet all year long, basically, and talk about, what we think that people might want to hear, or
So everybody suggests different names, and you kind of
it's kind of how it goes. And then, Terry, obviously, as an author, has met several of these authors,
Sure.
and then we just put the ask out and hope that they'll be able to do it.
right. And Terry Brooks is delightful.
Yes.
I only have met him through Get Lit at the Beach, but I know he's around, and again, very accessible. The folks sit with you at dinner, and you get to ask questions and share, and it just feels, it brings it home how literature happens, and then why we might be inspired again to be part of that. So let's name the authors again, so people, if they would like to, can look them up and see for themselves who they are.
Sure. So Terry Brooks, Elizabeth Engstrom.
How do you spell Elizabeth Engstrom?
Yeah, Engstrom.
Okay.
Jonathan Evison and Jess Walter.
Okay. Okay.
And then we should say that on Sunday, just
Yes.
to kind of continue with the weekend, something very unique happens, because like on Saturday we hear from each individual author. On Sunday we hear from all of them on stage at Coaster Theater, and that part of the weekend is free.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
So that's unique, because the questions can come from the audience
Or from each other.
or from each other, and then you'll see sometimes some debate, which
Oh,
is not, which is
neat.
a healthy thing,
Neat. Oh, I
on
love
stage.
this. And it's probable that they didn't all know each other before.
Many
So,
times that's right,
so
yeah.
this is an opportunity to see how their minds and thoughts come together. So that's at the Coaster. Let's see, 10 o'clock in the morning at the Coaster. Friday is at the Chamber of Commerce, 5 to 7, and that is a ticketed, but you can get tickets there
Yes.
probably. And then on Saturday all day is at the Surf Sand. In all of this is in Cannon Beach. This is another one of those fabulous Cannon Beach offerings. Cannon Beach is so rich with artistic events of all sorts. The music and the theater and the literature and the yoga. So all comes around. What else do we need to know about this?
Well, it just, by the time you get done with the weekend, you have had a chance to continue a conversation. I think Tracy said it really well. When you go to a book signing, you have maybe a minute to speak with an author that you really love their work, and this is very different, because you have a chance to come back to them and revisit questions, pick things up over the course of the weekend, see
It's developing
ideas.
a relationship, actually.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, and
feels
I,
like.
I think it's an opportunity also to tell authors that you appreciate their work, because I'm not sure that often, authors
Good point.
get to
Yep.
hear what a book maybe means to somebody,
Right.
or something they wrote
Right.
hit them, or
Right. Well, I highly recommend. Now, this is the Tolovana Arts Colony. Do you still have other classes that are happening through?
We do.
Yeah.
In fact, that's really starting to kick into high gear.
Okay. So
and
people need to go to your website for sure to see what you're offering.
yes.
And that's
Yes.
TolovanArtsColony.org.
.org. I will
Okay.
say, because our new program coordinator asked me that if I had a chance to plug it, there is a workshop this weekend,
Oh.
in fact, for self-publishing. If folks are
Oh,
interested in
yes.
self-publishing,
Yes.
that Saturday it's from 1 tomorrow, from 1 to 3 at Tolovana Hall. So if folks are interested in that, they can find out more about that at the workshop. At the website as well.
Tolovana Hall. Yeah, I saw that, and it sounded excellent because it said something ridiculous like, you can publish books for like 30 cents a piece or something. It was really, I went, what? But it said, nowadays with the web and self-publishing and all of this, you can learn how to do it. I thought, wow, that's fantastic. So my brain didn't remember that was part of Tolivana Arts Colony.
That's one example, but there's many that we're coming up with classes and workshops. And so we look forward to expanding that.
And we should give a shout out to the two guys who started the Tolivana Arts Colony, two of our great buddies, and Uncle Mike and Reverend Billy. Billy Holtz and Mike Burgess, two extraordinary human beings who used to come here every year and talk about what was going on and joke around. And sadly, they both left us way too early, but they also left great legacies for the arts community.
Spirit.
Absolutely, including the Upper Left Edge, which I think Watt is so much to talk about, folks. Go to the TolivanaArtsColony.org for a start, and then take it from there. Thank you so much for coming in, Tracy Abel. What's your job there?
I'm the treasurer on the board.
And what?
I'm the chair.
Okay, of the Tolivana Arts Colony. Tell them you heard him here on Coast Community Radio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
I'm going to put on a little bit of music, and then I have my last guest coming in, and he's going to be fun. Thanks for being here, folks. Coast Community Radio.